Hello, Dr. Symko here with another video on the brain. And this video is all about what you can do starting today after seeing this video to help your brain work better. Let's get started.
Okay, part two of our brain series. This is more application on what you can do to sort of help your brain be a little healthier. Now, the easiest part of the body to take care of is actually your brain. All you have to know is to know what to do about it. Now, in order for the brain to be very healthy, and it needs two things, fuel and activation. Fuel and activation gives the foundation that we all need for our brain to achieve maximum health. Now, fuel is in the form of glucose and oxygen. Glucose comes from food. Obviously, oxygen comes from our lungs. Activation is walking, running, reading, gravity itself, chewing food, being outside, social, helping others, and learning new things, learning a new language. Now let's talk more about fuel. The brain is the most oxygen-dependent organ in our bodies. So it requires a steady supply of oxygen. Now, in fact, even a few moments of no oxygen will kill nerve cells. Now, of course, our lungs supply the needed oxygen, but each year of our life after the age of 25, our lungs lose a little bit of capacity in order to supply the oxygen. So our oxygen supply becomes less. So what is important as we get older is that we need to keep our lungs as healthy as possible for our brain. And the number one strategy to do that is not to smoke. And I mean not to smoke anything, including marijuana. Smoke of any kind interferes with the ability of the lungs to take up oxygen. This in effect reduces the supply of oxygen available to our brains. Another strategy is simply to remain active. Find an activity you like and do it all the time. And what I mean by an activity is that what you want is your breath to be heavier, breathing to be faster for at least 30 minutes a day. That will help the lungs expand and give them greater opportunity to collect oxygen. It's sort of like a lung exercise. So you want to walk up the flight of stairs instead of taking the elevator, or walk up a hill when you have an opportunity, or run, or bike, or row, or walk fast, anything to get your heart rate up, which gets your breathing faster, which helps your lungs to expand and improve their function, which then will give more oxygen to the brain. Now on to the other fuel source, which is food, is glucose. And you see here there are variety of glucose forms. And what your body really needs is a certain type of glucose. And now glucose is used by your body for energy. And your brain uses a lot of glucose for energy. Now its source is what's important for your brain. And it usually the best source of glucose comes from whole foods, whole fruit, and vegetables. The brain likes to use your jaw to crush the food. That the crushing of the food prepares it to be broken down further as it gets into your stomach, and it's broken down even further there by using digestive juices, which then allows chemical processes to occur and your body to make this food we eat into usable glucose. Your brain likes the fact that your body does that. It's very important that it does that. It's designed to do it. Now, the problem with refined sugar is that it's already broken down for your brain. So when you eat refined sugar, it doesn't have to be chewed, it doesn't have to be digested, and it goes right into your bloodstream. And that concentration that immediately goes into your bloodstream, what happens is it increases certain hormones that are actually harmful to brain and nerve cells, and one of them is insulin. The other consequence of eating refined sugar is that sugar is a very addictive food, and it's as addictive as cocaine. And being addicted to anything is not good for your brain. As you can see here, this picture, you can see the response to sugar in a sugar addict's brain is all lit up. The other response in a regular person's brain doesn't have that lit areas of brain like the one on the left. And that means that your brain is not expending all the energy to process that sugar, to deal with that sugar, and it doesn't crave for it. This is the sort of a brain that addicts look at, like alcoholics or cocaine addicts or meth addicts. Their brains look like this too. Now, so what are the best foods for your brain if you don't want to have refined sugar? Well, in a study from the University of California, they discovered that individuals with dementia, which is basically the brain failing, improved on a diet rich with vegetables and meat, but low in grains and processed foods. Now, grains and processed foods tend to be more sugary. There's more refined sugar in those. So the other interesting thing was that fruit wasn't necessary. It's not necessary to eat fruit for your brain. So what is the bottom line here in terms of how to keep your brain healthy in a foundational way? What are the things you can do today or tomorrow that can actually help improve your brain function and health? Well, one thing is to do some type of aerobic activity every single day for at least 30 minutes. And it involves your heart rate to go up and your breathing to be faster. That helps your brain. Keep your brain active and interested. In other words, always try to learn something new or do something new. Go to drive to work in a different way or drive home in a different way, take a different train, whatever, just something that mixes up your day. Make sure that it is not routine. The other interesting thing is that most people don't read. You'll be lucky to read a book a year. I try to strive to read a book a month. Um, Learning a new language or even just hearing a different language excites your brain and activates it. Get off that couch. Gravity helps your brain. The third thing is to really eat foods that are rich in vegetables and good fats that come from fish and other meats. Now, if you are a vegan or a vegetarian, you have to make sure you get a lot of fat, and that is from avocados, coconut, and olive oil. And you have to also make sure you have a good source of protein every single day. Overall, for both vegans, vegetarians, and meat eaters, you want to reduce or eliminate refined sugar consumption and processed foods from your diet. That's all we have.
So there you have it. Very simple. But it can be a little difficult to make sure that you don't eat the sugar and the processed foods. I understand that. We're going to have more videos on what you can do for your brain and what you can do for actually helping you overcome this sugar addiction if you are indeed addicted. So look for me next week and have a great one.